Well, hello, everybody. It's Friday. I am, of course, BMR, Bigfoot Michigan Rob. This is my fourth installment of my Halloween series for Shocktober, my favorite month of the year. The first three installments, I talked a little haunted lighthouses of Michigan. Another installment was ghost towns, and last week was witches and Baba Yaga. This here is a little different. These are encounter stories in the paranormal realm that have been witnessed by people's experiences. I found these on a couple podcasts I listened to, a couple periodicals, and I kind of shaped them for you guys. There's a handful of these, and they're kind of short and creepy and to the point. Thinking about maybe breaking down a couple on the midnight show with the girls, Krista, Brandy, and Monica. Don't forget, I'm on Tuesday, 9 o'clock at night in the East, Thursday afternoon at 1, Saturday at midnight. Subscribe if not already to Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Like the videos if you would. It does help, get the algorithm out there for YouTube. Also, I have two books out on Amazon. Type Bigfoot Michigan Rob on your Amazon browser. Get both the books. One, get two. Those that bought them, thank you so much. Leave a review. I'm going to get on with these for you guys, and I hope you enjoy them. I'm going to go with here. And again, these are some people's encounters that they've had in the paranormal that I had found. And I'm going to start out with this one here, Grandma's Cemetery. Jeff, a resident of Dayton, Ohio, was driving with his 3-year-old son, Miles, sitting in the back seat when they passed by a modest cemetery decorated with only flowers and small plaques. It basically looks like a giant garden, Jeff explains on the podcast Monsters Within. According to Jeff, as they drove by, his toddler, who had been happily singing, abruptly stopped, pointed to the cemetery, and exclaimed, "Look at all those people." Jeff turned to look, but didn't see a soul. Confused, he asked Miles what he was talking about. "All those people over there," his son replied. "There sure are a lot of grandmas." As Jeff tells it, chills ran down his spine as he asked his son what the people were doing. "They're all standing there, looking down at the grass," Miles says. Completely unsettled by this conversation, Jeff sped up and drove home. Later that day, he says his young son was watching TV when he turned to Jeff and he says, "They weren't alive." Thinking Miles was referring to the cartoon, Jeff asked what he meant. "Those people we saw, they were all paused." "They were all paused," his son replies. "I don't know if my kid has the sixth sense," Jeff says, "or if he was just having his wild imagination running loose." Kind of creepy. Kind of creepy. Children do have that sixth sense, I do believe. I remember when I was younger, at the age of 5, I could pick out lots of things. Lots of things. Children, they pick up on things, and children don't lie, do they? The ghost of the Stanley Hotel. The Stanley Hotel is in Estes Park, Colorado. It has been around for more than 100 years and was built at a it was built as a posh getaway for the wealthy seeking solitude in the mountains. As the years passed, however, occupancy declined. And by the 1970s, the Grand Hotel had fallen into disrepair. It was around that time that famed author Stephen King spent the night there and was inspired to write his book, The Shining. The book and blockbuster film helped return the Stanley to its former glory. Now guests come in droves to see the hotel that inspired one of the scariest horror films of all time. Given its history, it should come as no surprise that many visitors report strange happenings, aware of the ghostly rumors. Texas resident Henry booked a last-minute getaway in April of 2016 to check it on out. After arriving, Henry had dinner. then wandered around the Stanley to take photos. Stopping at the staircase, he waited for people to clear the area, then took a picture, thinking nothing of it. Later that night, however, Henry felt seriously ill. I felt really sick. As he explains and goes on, it was like something was really wrong with me. His companion suggested he go to the emergency room, but Henry refused. On the trip home, Henry began swiping through the photos he'd taken when he discovered what he said that was really, really strange. He finds a really, really strange image of someone standing on the stairs, except nobody had been there in the hotel. The next day, he posted his photo on Instagram, half joking that he had captured a ghost, and the world took notice. Almost overnight, Henry found himself in the limelight with his ghost picture warranting attention from global media outlets and paranormal experts who wanted to examine the photo. Some experts say that there's two ghosts, and other people say that the reason that he got sick was because the ghost was trying to materialize, taking the energy out of him. Again, you guys, lots of theories about this. I didn't see this. I'm not familiar with this, alleged worldwide Instagram photo. I think I'd have to check it out. Moving on. We all know about Lizzie Borden house, right? Here's one for you. The hauntings of the Lizzie Borden house. August 4th, 1892, Andrew and his wife Abby Borden were found brutally murdered in their Fall River, Massachusetts home. Though murder wasn't uncommon in the late 1800s, the fact that they were bludgeoned to death with an axe and the main suspect was their 32-year-old daughter Lizzie certainly was. The crime and trial that followed made headlines around the world. Lizzie was ultimately acquitted of murder, but she remains forever linked to the heinous killings, as does the home where the crime was committed. It's now a bedtime and breakfast museum. The Borden home attracts history buffs, thrill seekers, or whoever comes to see for themselves, to see if the rumors of the house being haunted is in fact true. When I started working there, it was more of the history. I really didn't care about paranormal, says Susan St. John, a realtor and tour guide of the Lizzie Borden house. However, that all changed after St. John says she experienced a few unusual happenings of her own. Guests tell us they hear laughing and playing in the middle of the night. Things get moved around, she says. And St. John has experienced a few unusual things herself, saying that once she discovered toys scattered across the room that no one had been in. The room, that is, I guess. St. John also talks of a picture that fell over and slid 2 feet across the floor without any plausible explanation, as well as a closet door that once opened on its own volition. On the eve of the anniversary of Andrew and Abby's murder, St. John says that she and 2 other tour guides at the house felt a sudden, sharp, piercing pain in their left eyes, the same exact location of Andrew Borden's fatal injuries. Perhaps most unsettling, however, is the story St. John tells of a tour guide at the Lizzie Borden house who asked her group to silence their cell phones before beginning the tour. Moments later, a guest's cell phone rang. She looked up and said, "It's my mom." The tour guide asked if she wanted to leave and take the call, to which the woman replied, "She died 2 years ago." Yeah, that's kind of creepy. I'm going to get with the Blondes and Booze on that one. They know quite a bit about Lizzie, the Borden house. Maybe we'll do that this Saturday. I don't know. The ghost of Captain Joseph White. Through Salem, Massachusetts, it's best known for its infamous witch trials that have been there, and that have been plenty of other chilling stories throughout the 400-year history. One of them is the tale of Captain Joseph White, a wealthy merchant who was found bludgeoned to death in his bed. It was a crime motivated by money, according to John Smith, owner and tour guide at Salem Historical Tours, who says the 82-year-old merchant was allegedly targeted by greedy brothers hoping to get their hands on his will. Brothers Joe and Francis enlisted the help of Richard Kroninsky to help get the job done. Late in the evening, when Captain White was asleep, Dick Crownfeld comes in, goes upstairs to the second floor, and takes a club and bashes the captain over the head and crushes his skull. The murder resulted in a scandalous trial and is said to be the inspiration of Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. Also, the board game Clue. Whether it's the brutal nature of the crime or revenge for the attempt to steal his money, the spirit of Captain Joseph White is said to still wander the halls of his former home. People believe Captain White is roaming around that house protecting whatever treasure he reportedly has. I got to tell you, I thought that was cool. It reminds me of a lot of Michigan lighthouses and abandoned museums where similar instances have taken place, something I like to further look into. But this last one I'm going to give you guys know that I hate dolls. They creep me out. Clowns creep me out. Here's one about a haunted ventriloquist doll. When Marty was a child back in the 90s, she tells, again, the podcast called Monsters Among Us, that she was a fan of ventriloquist Edgar Bergen and his dummy sidekick, Charlie McCarthy. She says that when her father came across a ventriloquist doll as he wandered through a small magic shop located outside of Santa Rosa, California, he decided to buy it for her birthday. While ringing up the sale, Marty says the cashier gave her father weird vibes and said to him, "You know, when you put your hand inside the doll, he's going to come alive." Laughing off the comment, he brought the dummy home to his daughter. Now this guy buys this creepy doll, you guys. You ain't going to catch BMR buying no dolls. According to Marty, she was over the moon when his dad gave her the doll, saying, "I was so happy when I got the doll. I was obsessed." But before long, strange things began to happen. Though impossible, because the doll's head was made of hard plastic, she says his expression would change, including the smile. Oh, boy. Worried something would happen to her precious dummy, Marty's family shut it away in a cupboard most nights. I should probably say put it away. One night, she and her family were awakened by the pitter-patter of steps in their living room, thinking it was the dog or another family member. They went to look. There was no one there, except for the doll, who was sitting on the couch. "We remember specifically we always put it away because I loved that doll so much that I took care of it," Marty says. Other strange occurrences began to happen. While Marty and her dad were away, her uncle was alone in the house. The uncle says he heard Marty's father calling his name from the living room, even though he wasn't home. When he went to look, he found the doll, once again, sitting on the couch. No one was there except for that wicked little grin. All of our family was pretty much scared of the doll, Marty says. People would start hearing their names being called out, and we would hear walking at night, so we just decided we needed to get rid of it. Being a Mexican and very religious, Marty says her parents wanted to burn the doll in case it was demonic. They put it on the grill, and according to Marty, it wouldn't burn. That's the last thing I'm doing is putting some creepy ass doll on my grill, guys. Sorry. This doll would not go up in flames at all whatsoever. They tried cutting it up with a knife, but it was unsuccessful. Finally, they threw it in the trash can. After garbage was collected, Marty's dad went to retrieve the garbage bin. And you guys, you can guess it. Guess what was still in the garbage bin? The doll. They can't kill or get rid of this doll. Listen to me, kill a doll, right? To rid themselves of the dummy, they dug a hole in the backyard and filled it with cement. Marty and the family have long since moved away, but she says they still think about the doll and the possibility that eventually it finds one of us. That is creepy. I do not like dolls. They can't kill this inanimate object. Okay, I know it's not alive. Putting it in your grill, cutting it up, it won't cut. Throw it in the trash. It doesn't empty out of the trash into the truck, the trash truck. Dolls and I don't mix. BMR and clowns don't mix. I hope you like those short haunting stories for Halloween. That was the fourth of many. We've got today's the 11th of October. I'll probably do another half a dozen of these similar type of accounts for Halloween. Don't forget to subscribe to Bigfoot Michigan Rob on YouTube. Buy my books on Amazon. See me this midnight with the gals. We're going to have a creepy show for you Saturday at midnight, 11 Central. I'm Bigfoot Michigan Rob. Like this, turn on the alert bell, and I will see you on the flip side. BMR's out.